cikin su ne. The eyes have it.
Our journey has been steady from the advent. With crystal clear vision, we started off as a news online portal. We subsequently evolved into a magazine, and now on your radio. We do not only bear the name Media House. We practice with the best ethos of our professional calling, presenting facts with objectivity. We are committed and resolute. We are HallowMace. We are the standard bearers. It's HallowMace on radio, dedicated to promotion of legislature, democracy, and good governance. It's hot, interactive, educating, engaging, and entertaining. HallowMace on radio, Thursdays, 10 a.m. on Armed Forces Radio, 107.7 FM. HallowMace on radio. Parliament, brought to the people. Brought to the people.
Beautiful morning to you, cousin. How are you today? We're live on the hills of Mogadishu Cantonment, the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. Glad to have you join us on HallowMace on Radio. If you're joining us for the first time, HallowMace on Radio, it's a program dedicated towards the promotion of the Nigerian legislature, as we hope that we have the dividends of democracy where you can amplify conversations around good governance here in Nigeria and beyond. This edition of the program promises to be another engaging live radio broadcast with you live on it, participating with questions, contributions, suggestions as the case might be. Our discourse is on the Nigerian Senate and the people. Again, our focus on this edition is on the Nigerian Senate and the people. Live with us in the building is the Special Assistant Media and Communication to the President of the Senate, Anietie Ekong. Thank you for coming through, cousin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Are you related with Truth Ekong? He laughs.
No, Ekong is actually a common name in Akwa Ibom.
Okay.
It's a coincidence of name, though I know him very well.
Oh, interesting.
As our captain.
Now, this is a good one. Now, cousin, we hope that you stick with us on this edition because as it continues, we hope that you are able to have your own side, have your own take, have your own contribution as we go on this live radio broadcast. Bob Genesis, the Gospel Touch, your cousin on radio remains my name. So someone would want to say, if you have the spokesperson to the Senate president, what will you have him done as his opening speech on this live radio broadcast? What would be your first words, aside the fact that I've told you maybe you were related?
Thank you so much for having me once again. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
I have followed HallowMace on radio.
Interesting.
For quite a while.
All right.
And I must commend you guys that you are doing a very good job in deepening democracy in Nigeria and highlighting what is going on, at the legislature.
All right.
Especially the National Assembly and more importantly, the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Like you said in your introduction, I'm Special Assistant Media and Communication to the President of the 10th Senate, His Excellency Chief Dr. Godswill Akpabio, GCON, and he's the chairman of the National Assembly. And I would say that the legislature is what differentiates democracy and an authoritarian regime. During military governance,
yes, cousin,
you have the executive, and you also have the legislature functioning. The only thing they abrogate is the legislature. There is no lawmaking arms. In fact, they combine the executive combine itself and have like in the military era, they have the Supreme Military Council, which serves as an executive and as a lawmaking body. So the only thing that differentiates democracy, an authoritarian regime, is the parliament.
Interesting.
There must be a parliament, and in Nigeria, we operate a bicameral legislature. That is, the House of Reps is the lower house, then the Senate is the upper chambers.
All right.
And these two legislative houses have their different functions.
Interesting. Now, I love that you have a very elaborate opening, and a cousin has just lent a perspective of radio broadcast. What we do is to educate, inform, and entertain. Now, if I have you in the building, I would do justice to some of the reservations Nigerians have had as regards to your boss, and some of commendations Nigerians have as regards to your boss. So we would be centering on achievements, challenges, and prospects. Now, this is the point at which I would want to ask. This is second year already that they are on as the number one personality when it comes to the Red Chamber. What can you tell us? Are you satisfied with the level of performance your boss has put up for these 2 years?
Well, yeah, it's not just about my boss, the Senate President,
All right.
but about the 10th Senate as a whole.
Yes,
And
cousin.
all in all, I will say that they have done exceedingly well. At his inauguration on June 13, 2023,
Yes.
in his inauguration speech, the President of the Senate assured Nigerians that every legislation that they will make, every legislation that the National Assembly will make, will be geared towards, improving the lives of the citizens of Nigeria, will be geared towards, improving the well-being of the citizens of this country. And I think so far, so good. The 10th Senate has done exceedingly well. They have promulgated, or let me not use that word because it belongs to the military era.
Okay.
They have made legislation that have improved the well-being of the people of Nigeria.
All right.
Which is what they were voted to do in the first instance.
And I want to believe that whether you like it or not, cousin, at the point I will give you an opportunity on live radio to allow your questions live on radio and contributions. Someone would want to say, for real, are you sure Nigerians are indeed happy with what has happened for this past 2 years that this administration has come aboard? We would have perspectives clarified by you. Whether or not, I am thinking at this point now that it will make sense for us to hear from you as his spokespersons, talking more on some of the achievements. Someone says 2027 is in view already, and quite a lot people are having already on their mind. So if you're to speak about the 10th Senate with your boss as the number one, would you highlight some of the achievements you've had that can make some clarification to Nigerians who are possibly feeling this particular Senate is a rubber stamp?
Well, it's unfortunate that if people have that impression. But I know, because I'm a Nigerian too,
Yes,
that people tend to focus, or people tend to cheer and clap for the legislature when they are engaged in a fight with the executive.
cousin.
But should this always be the case? Should we measure the achievement of a legislature with the number of fights that they engage with the executive? But I know that, the legislature exists, to act as check and balances for the executive. And it is in this regard, like I said, the 10th Senate has done exceedingly well.
Okay.
The legislature must not always engage the executive in a fight before you look at what they have done, which I will highlight here, and you see that in fact, since 1999, I dare say that the present Senate, the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has churned out legislation that have impacted on lives, that have impacted on the well-beings of Nigeria. And I think that is what the legislature is for. It's not to fight the executive, or, in fact, His Excellency, the Senate President, said that they were not elected and given gloves so that they will go into the ring and start fighting the executive. And in any case, why would you fight an executive that you belong to the same political party. Much as you act as check and balances, which they have done, through various interventions. The important thing is what you have done have they impacted on the well-being of Nigeria? That is what Nigerians should use, not the number of fights. And in any case, when you talked about there being a rubber stamp Senate, that is not entirely correct.
Okay.
Like you may have known, the present Senate has had occasions to veto some decisions of the executive. Like during the last ministerial screening,
yes,
they turned down some nominees of the president.
Now, because you just mentioned this one now,
yes,
I might not allow you to continue with some of the elaboration, but of course you will still make sense of that. One would want to quickly challenge the understanding around the science and technology minister who recently had to resign by reason of possibly some Nigerians who have had reservation that did the Senate actually do a good job?
Yeah, the Senate did a very good job.
So how do we have this?
Why we have that is, before, I may need to educate Nigerians on the process of screening.
Yes, cousin.
The Senate screens for competence.
Okay.
The Senate does not visit each school that a ministerial nominee claims to have attended to verify their certificates. Right. That is not the job of the Senate. Before a nominee appears at the Senate.
Yes, cousin.
The Senate already has a security report. He may have been screened by various the relevant security agencies, and they will submit their reports to the Senate. So it is the report of the security agencies that the Senate work on. Okay. The Senate does not have an apparatus of moving. If you say you worked at the XYZ company, the Senate will go there and confirm. Or if they said you attended the university of this, the Senate will go there and confirm. Did this person attend this university, or did you issue him this certificate? That is not the job of the Senate. It is the relevant security agencies that do that. And they submit the report even before the nominee appears before the Senate. Okay. So the job of the Senate at that point is to screen the nominee. They look at their background, they look at their competence. Will this person be able to function as a minister of the Federal Republic? Does he have the requisite knowledge, the requisite competence to function as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? That's what the Senate does.
All right.
So you won't blame the Senate if if a nominee presents a false document. It is assumed that this should have been detected by security agencies before they submit their reports to the Senate in the first place.
I believe you are satisfied on the flip side of the radio with the perspective of the Senate President's media personality, the man who communicates and speaks for him. Now let's look at some of the perspectives that I think you would want to talk about, the achievement of this 10th Senate. Can you highlight maybe 3 or 4 of them? Let's see if we can collaborate information.
Yeah. The 10th Senate has done quite a lot.
Okay.
Like I said, the legislation that they have thrown out have had, impact on the Nigerian people. People should not forget that it was the 10th Senate. It was the 10th Senate that made a law that led to the increase of the minimum wage of the workers. That was an intervention by the 10th Senate. They made that minimum wage law, which today the average Nigerian worker, no matter his qualification, would not earn less than 70,000 naira. Some states pay over 100 and something thousand, but that was from the National Assembly.
Though that's another one that a cousin who is listening to us now would still want to hold reservations. Personally, I've always said, I don't know if the implementation of this 70,000 naira is a reality, because Nigerians are always asking questions. How was this come up with? When you still have some private sectors paying 10,000, 20,000, and then the civil servants who are with the federal government would tell you it looks as if it's just a 40,000 naira across board. How do we talk on the side effects of this particular law?
I can say for sure that there is no civil servant that works with the federal government that earns less than 70%.
Okay.
That is a certainty.
All right.
I can challenge anybody on that. But even beyond that,
Yes, cousin.
the job of the legislature is to make the laws. The implementation is not for the legislature. It's the executive that implements the law.
Right.
I know that some states have had challenges, but some others, have even taken it beyond the 70,000 naira minimum wage, and they have upped the ante. Some states are paying over 100,000 naira to the least paid worker. Even if you are a cleaner in the office, you are not supposed to earn less than 70,000 naira. And so it is also the job of the Nigerian Labour Congress to take it up and make sure that the interests of the workers are protected, whether they're in the private sector, like you said, or in the government, or in the government establishment. But one I am saying as a certainty is that the National Assembly made the minimum wage law, which has come into effect, and the least Nigerian worker should not earn less than 70%.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, I hope that you will talk to me some more now on some of these achievements quickly before we look at the challenges that this 10th Senate has actually experienced in their 2 years. Already it's 2 years with the calculation in my head, right? So, I don't know, Mr. Ekong, aside some of these outstanding one that you just talked to, the issue of the 70,000 minimum wage law,
there's also the Nigerian Student Loans Fund.
Was it open to everybody?
Yes, it's open to everybody. As far as you are in a public school, as far as you have admission into a university, and there have been many testimonies to that effect.
Right.
That law was made by the National Assembly.
Right.
That Nigerians should not be denied the opportunity on account of lack of funds.
Interesting.
If you have an admission to the university, a valid admission you apply. Go to their website of NELFund and apply, and you'll be surprised. You don't need any connection. You don't need to know anybody, and you'll be awarded the loan scheme, which you are expected to pay many years after graduation when you are gainfully employed. But this has made education, it has expanded the scope of education and made education more accessible, especially to the indigent students. And we have had so many testimonies of how students would have dropped out of school, but because of this intervention, they pay the fees. The fees are paid directly to the schools. And the fund also make available a monthly stipend to the students, at least to keep body and soul together. This is revolutionary. It has never happened.
I heard that.
But because of the responsiveness of the present Senate, of the present National Assembly to the plight of indigent students, and they said that nobody should be denied the right to access to education on account of indigency. So if you are an indigent student and you are admitted in a Nigerian university, a public Nigerian university, whether state university or federal university, you apply and get your education going.
Cousin, that's the perspective.
This has been very impactful.
I love the concept of impact, and we will still drive narratives on that. Let me hear from you. Would you say there are challenges that this 10th Senate under your principle have experienced?
No, I have not finished.
Okay.
Let me.
He loves to go on this achievement. It's my time now.
Let me add.
Just add one.
Let me add to that.
Okay.
The present Senate also created the regional development commissions. You have the Southeast Development Commission, South Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, North Central Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, and Northeast Development Commission.
Yes, cousin.
One was created during the previous administration, but the present 10th Senate has created 5 development commissions. The impact of this is that it will take development to the grassroots. It will complement the efforts of the state government in bringing amenities, to the rural areas, in providing empowerment to the rural people, in facilitating infrastructural developmental projects, in a one fell swoop. 5 development commissions were
Yes,
created by the present National Assembly.
okay.
If that does not amount to big impact, I wonder what else, because this will make it possible for the person at the grassroots, the person in my village in Akwa Ibom State, to feel the impact of governance.
Okay.
To feel that they've not been abandoned. Because when you talk about governance, you look at Abuja. You may not be able to reach Abuja from my village, but you have the local government structure and you have the Regional Development Commission, like in our case, the South Development Commission, that will complement the effort of the federal and state government and drive development at the grassroots.
Mr. Ekong, I love that we would have allowed you to go through with some of these perspectives some more, but because of my time, if I had 2 hours, I would allow you to talk more on achievement before we get into the challenges. Would you speak to me quickly, because we have quite a lot. Someone is waiting for that high point of this conversation today, but for me, we are already in the high point. Would you speak to us? Are there challenges that you think the 10th Senate have experienced? And if there are, what are some of these challenges?
Yeah, the challenges that the 10th Senate has experienced is just the normal challenges that every legislature experiences. One is that it's not all the laws that you pass that the president may give assent to. The president, for good reason, because when this happened, the president writes to the Senate or to the National Assembly that I have observed this, I have observed this, this is this. If we go on to implement this law, it will infringe on the Constitution or it will infringe on this. Take another look at it and align it with this. That's one of the challenges, that it's not all the laws that are passed by the National Assembly that the executive assents to, that it becomes law, and for good reasons, most times, because when you listen to the objections by the federal government or the president that they cannot assent to this law because it's in conflict with the Constitution, or it's in conflict with this other law, or provisions have not been made for this and this, and they give their reason. But outside that, I think that is the major challenge, that it's not all the legislation that the National Assembly passes that the executive assents.
Okay. Now, I love that we are live with you on HallowMace on radio here on the dial 107.7 FM. The discourse is on the Nigerian Senate and the people. And you would want to agree with me that the Special Assistant Media Communication to the President of the Senate, Mr. Anietie Ekong, is doing justice to the live broadcast. You have got questions you want to ask or contributions to make. At this point, we open the phone lines for your engagement. 0707 242 6258 is the number for you to call. Again, 0707 242 6258. This is the point at which I would like to still have you talk to some of the observations Nigerians have made. And it looks as though, okay, a cousin is here. Let me not put up this question yet. Let's hear who we've got. Good morning, cousin.
Hey, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Your name and where you're calling from.
Thank you very much. My name is Paul, calling from Kurudu.
Paul, you have 60 seconds. Go ahead.
I just want to commend your guest speaker, but I also want to acknowledge that he himself acknowledged that the title is not a overstand per se. But to us as citizens, we see there are some things that there are some laws that are passed that are supposed to laws that are meant to have direct bearing on the citizens. We see those things are being shied away by the National Assembly. I want to also ask him, what do you have to say about all this pension, that people contributing pension, that people servants will contribute, they don't benefit anything from it. At the end of the day, when they retire, they start suffering. Secondly, what are you people saying about, what are people saying about the local government autonomy? And lastly, yes, the National Assembly function is to pass laws, but in that same provision, there is an oversight function. What are people doing in some of these projects that are uncompleted? You will hear them talk about it, but you won't hear everything at the end of the day.
All right.
The library building, the National Library building, has been there for years. That's one of the projects that are very big and dear to Nigerians.
All right.
Another one. What are they doing about it? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, for utilizing your time correctly. And because you're the first caller, I will allow my cousin, that's Mr. Ekong, to respond to you immediately before okay, my producer said, no, let's take more calls. It's all right. So you note down some of these observations and questions. Good morning, cousin. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I got a producer, so I'm following his instruction. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Austin. I'm calling from Cairo side.
Austin, you have your 60 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, just like the first caller said, sir, most of these things that are being said that are done, very 101% that they are done as people are getting effects from it. But if people, the whole Nigerians are not getting effects from it, they should not just say to us and other people are eating and we are not eating. So it's not good. Let them not just say to us and make us feel like it's happening. The whole world feeling that it's happening, but it's not happening. It's just some to other parts of humans. So let them just know what they say to us and how they implement it so that it go all of us.
Thank you. Thank you, Austin. We appreciate you. 070-7242-6258. I took those numbers fast. Very intentional, right? 070-7242-6258 is the number for you to call and be part of this live radio broadcast as we take a look at the Nigerian Senate and the people. Having with us Anietie, Ekong, Special Assistant Media Communication to the President of the Senate. And the idea is, let's see how we can address some of the achievement the 10th Senate has made and some of their challenges, and also allowing you to ask your questions and make your contributions. Respond to Paul, cousin.
Okay, Paul talked about oversight functions.
Yeah.
And specifically mentioned the issue.
But I suppose that the pension matter is his first interest.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll go there.
All right.
I'll get there.
Okay, cousin.
I'll get there.
All right.
Like the issue of he specifically mentioned oversight.
Yes, cousin.
And mentioned the issue of the National Library.
Yes, cousin.
Which has been abandoned for many years. In fact, it was just recently that the First Lady, Her Excellency, Senator Mrs. Remi Tinubu, took it up as her own initiative on her birthday to raise funds to complete that National Library project, which is very commendable.
Yes.
But like I said, the job of the legislature, and people should know this, is to make the laws. You don't implement it. If the executive sends in a budget proposal, the job of the National Assembly is to, scrutinize it and pass it. The release of the funds it's not on the National Assembly. The National Assembly does not control the release of the funds. It's the executive that releases funds, weighing national priorities, to know, money, this amount should get to education, this one should get to health, this one should get to infrastructure. The job of the National Assembly would be to pass the laws. Okay. And he also talked about the issue of
people contributing
contributory pensions. This is one aspect, because even now, if you go to the National Assembly, you see some retired policemen. They are there at the gate. They've been protesting, and this is an issue that the 10th Senate feels very strongly about. Okay. And I'm aware that there are moves to align it. Okay. And because if somebody has served the country for over 35 years. The person should not retire into penury. The person should not retire into hardship. So the National Assembly, the 10th Senate in particular, takes this very seriously. Okay. And I'm aware that there are moves to align it so that the hardship, the present hardship that people who were involved in the contributory pension scheme, that the relief will come their way through legislation. Right. He also talked about the issue of local government autonomy. Yes, cousin. And I commend him for that because this is very important to Nigerians. Nigerian wants a situation that development will get to the grassroots. Maximum. And how does development get into grassroots if the local governments are not autonomous? A situation that state governments, will pocket, corner the resources of the local government and just give them a little handout to operate with. It's not right. And that is why, the present Senate
Yes, cousin.
has initiated moves. These are constitutional issues. And presently, the Constitution, the 10th Senate is engaging in fact, this weekend
Yes, sir.
in Lagos, the Senate is meeting in Lagos, to review most of this legislation.
Okay.
And I can I can assure you that the issue of local government autonomy is very important to the 10th Senate. And they will make laws to align so that the local government will become fully autonomous.
All right.
And in line with the Supreme Court judgment. Supreme Court had given a judgment, that local government should access their funds. But it will not just end there. They need the backup. They need appropriate legislation. And that is what the present National Assembly is bent on doing, so that people at the grassroots can feel the impact of governance through local government autonomy.
Interesting. If you're just joining us, the program is HallowMace on radio. Check your time. It's 27 minutes before 11. The little time we have in our hands, we intend to have your engagement. Ask your questions, make your contributions as we continue with Mr. Anietie Ekong, the Special Assistant Media Communication to the President of the Senate. Good morning, cousin.
Hello?
Thank you for joining us. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
When people have a very nice program, it's 36 seconds. What will someone
It's the time we have.
Let me just rush.
All right.
Let me just rush.
Yes, cousin. Go ahead.
At times when things favor you, you come and tell you talk very nice. Now I know that man talking there. I know he's living in a good house.
Did you tell me your name, cousin?
Schools.
You didn't tell me your name.
My name is Michael. My name is Michael.
Okay. All right, Michael. Go ahead.
They are living well. They are living comfortable. What is happening to Nigeria, they don't know anything about. Because it's what, and what especially, you understand, what's it called, these investigative journalists.
Yes,
journalists. They don't practice that no more. So they just come on air, just say things as if things are rosy. Let him go down to the grassroots. But before I end, there's one thing I want to let everybody know. Your time will come and go. You will get old. You will not remain in power forever. You must get old. Your children will come. Maybe they will not have that privilege that you have to make things right. They will feel it too. So all these things they are saying, people are suffering.
Okay.
So all the laws that are even the what's it called? The school what's it called?
The student loan. Yes, cousin.
The school loan, the student loan. Go and take it. I know you're working in a radio station. Go and meet somebody in your background. Let it just go a normal grassroots person to go access that loan. If you can even get it.
Okay.
So they know what they are doing.
Thank you, Michael.
Talking Nigerians.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate. Yes, Michael. Your position made known already, and I don't know how Mr. Ekong will respond to that. For him already, let me in a very comfortable house.
Let me quickly respond to that.
Yes, cousin.
The National Assembly is not oblivious of the suffering of Nigerians.
Yes, cousin.
That has to be made clear. It's not as if they are detached or they don't know what Nigerians are going through. But part of their job is to make sure that, Nigerians have basic good life. Part of their job is to make laws, that will make things easier for Nigerians. And that is what I was talking about. Like the students' loan scheme that he talked about, the NEL fund,
yes,
I disagree very vehemently with him. This is one scheme that you don't need to know anybody. Everything is done through the internet. You make your application, get the acknowledgement, and unless you are not a student, because confirmation will have to be made in your school, and once your school confirms that you are a student, you access the funds.
I got that.
You don't need to know anybody. You don't need to know anybody.
I want to.
You don't need to lobby. You don't even, So these are part of the legislation that the National Assembly has put in place to make life easier for Nigerians. It's not as if they are detached. Every member of the National Assembly, whether you're a senator or House of Reps member, you have brothers, you have sisters, you have cousins, you have aunties and uncles who are in your village. What the ordinary Nigerians are going through is what your people in the village are going through. So it's not as if they are detached.
Right.
They come to Abuja and they don't know what is happening.
Okay.
And these people have constituency briefings.
Yeah.
They get to their constituency, and gather their people and say, what is the problem? What should we address? I know that many senators and House of Reps members have embarked on medical interventions in their constituencies. You know, they send in medical missions that will go, talk to, treat the people, give them drug, give them access, but even beyond that, there is what they are doing now. Like having health insurance, so that you can walk into any medical facility and get treated without having a humongous amount that you have to pay for it. Right. These are things that the present National Assembly has put in place to make life easier for Nigerians. It's not as if they are detached. They don't know what is going on. They don't know that Nigerians are suffering. Right. They accept as much. But part of their job is to make sure that that the people are not suffering, that the suffering that they're experiencing are being relieved. All right. I did not talk about the tax reform that the present National Assembly has put in place. These tax reforms is to relieve the ordinary people. If you don't earn up to a certain amount, you don't have to pay tax. Got that. If you are involved in a little business selling your commodities, you don't have to pay tax on that. Okay. And people don't know about this.
I should think that Michael is a bit satisfied with your position now. Let's take more questions from my end, and then we see if we can have you come through with your call some more on 0707-242-6258. I was talking about the relationship of your principal with other senators in this 10th Assembly. We've had some people who felt he is a dictator with the way he handles the 10th Senate. Other submission, as a matter of fact, my producer just showed me one of the papers where your principal is accused of saying that covering should not be given to distinguished Senator Natasha. What would you tell us?
No, that is absolutely untrue.
Okay.
That is not true. Okay. The Senate president cannot gag the media and stop them from covering anybody. I read that news story myself, and that was yesterday, and we laughed about it. Okay. If there is one Senate and a senator that is media friendly, you are talking about Chief Godswill Akpabio. Right from his time as governor of Akwa Ibom State, the things he did are there for eyes to see. The stadium he built is the only FIFA recognized stadium in Nigeria as of today. As I'm talking today, that is where the Super Eagles play their national team matches.
That is the last victory we had with 4-0.
With 4-0. Okay. That is the only stadium that FIFA recognizes.
It means recognize this one in Abuja here.
No. It's not a FIFA approved stadium for national competitions at that senior level. What it means is that if Senator Godswill Akpabio did not build that stadium in Akwa Ibom State, maybe Nigeria will be going to neighboring countries to execute their matches. So in essence, what else did he
talking about the concept of
yes, his relationship with the senators has been very cordial. Okay. HallowMace covers the National Assembly very well, and in the past Senate, you won't see a situation that the presiding officer, that is the Senate president, guarded his seat like he wants to put an iron fence around it. But in the present dispensation, you've seen how liberal. Sometimes you see the deputy Senate president presides. If the Senate president has other engagements, that maybe takes him out of Abuja or takes him to the villa, or have other engagement, maybe diplomatic engagements, his deputy presides. Okay. That is not the action of somebody who is dictatorial, and he has very cordial relationship with his fellow senators.
I appreciate
if he did not have this cordial relationship with his fellow senators, he will be afraid that if I don't preside today, they will impeach me. But he doesn't have that fear, and that is why sometimes you see his deputy presides.
I love this,
and that is because he knows that he has the support and backing of his fellow senators, because he's just first among equals. First and foremost, he's elected as a senator, like the other senators. But the senators now elect him that you are our first. You are our leader. You should pretend over the affairs of this Senate. So he owes the position to his fellow senators.
Right.
And he has carried them along. And if there is any Senate that has experienced that cordiality, it is the 10th Senate presently as presided over by His Excellency Chief Dr. Godswill Oborokpabio, GCON.
Mr. Anietie Ekong, I sincerely appreciate the position you've taken to clarify that. I feel that I don't always have you here every time. And the fact that I have you today, I would want to see if we can use this live radio broadcast to clarify some of the reservations Nigerians have around the Senate president talking to some of the ugly issues that have happened around him. I deliberately would want to use that words, and having you in our space will help make sense for us to know. They say what you hear can either make you or mar you. I should think that if not for anything, the long challenge between him and distinguished Senator Natasha and some other follow-up conversations that people will have. This time that we have you in our space, would like you to talk to the issues and see how you can communicate Nigerians on how your principal is actually taking some of these challenges.
Okay, some of these challenges are normal even in a family setting. That a father has many children.
Yes, cousin.
There may be one or two people who don't reason along with the others. So, but on the issue of Senator Natasha Poti-Udoagan, please, you will excuse me.
All right.
Because I know that the matters, some of the matters are in court.
Yes, cousin.
And there are prejudice. I will not lend my opinion on those matters.
All right.
We allow the courts. That is the beauty of democracy. That there is the executive, there is the legislature, and there is the judiciary.
Okay.
So these issues, some of these issues are with the, the judiciary.
Yes, cousin.
And you excuse me if I said, let the court takes its course.
Okay. Perfectly said. And someone says, "Oh, cousin, you have heard him," and I'm believing that continuing on broadcast, we'll always have the development live presented here on the radio when the court decide whatever the issues are. 0707-242-6258 is still available for you to call and be part of this edition of HallowMace on radio as we take a look at the Nigerian Senate and the people. Of course, you would want to agree with me that the Special Assistant Media Communication to the President of the Senate, Anietie Ekong, has done justice to some of the concerns we raised. Do me a favor, turn it down. If you get through to us, turn down the volume of your radio set so that we're able to hear you. 0707-242-6258 is the number for you to call. I didn't yank your call. It just dropped. So I would appreciate if you turn the volume down or walk away from your radio if you have access to us. Can we conclude by listening to you on some of the prospects of your principal and the 10th Senate going forward? Let's see what happens before 2027.
Yeah, before 2027, I can assure you that, presently,
yes, cousin,
the 10th Senate and the National Assembly as a whole, they are embarking on electoral reforms.
All right.
One of the legacy the present 10th Senate will hand over to the next generation of Nigerians is that, elections will be conducted and they will be credible.
Interesting.
The elections will be free and fair.
Interesting.
Like the INEC chairman said, who appeared before the 10th Senate a few days back for his screening, he assured that as the head of the Electoral Commission, he will conduct elections that the loser, will congratulate the winner.
Interesting.
How would this happen? When you see that you have been defeated and that the process is transparent, I mean, you won't have you won't have need to go to a election petition tribunal or the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court. You just concede and say that yes, in every election, one person must emerge a winner. Others, will try back next time. So one of the legacies that the present 10th Senate is going to hand down to the next is that they will put the legal framework that will ensure that Nigerians have free and fair elections through electoral reforms.
Right.
You know, they are also embarking on constitutional amendments. And I can assure you that the National Assembly will do its part, because amending the Constitution, you know, goes beyond the National Assembly. It's not the job of the National Assembly alone. Sometimes they need concurrence of 2/3 of the state houses of assembly. But I can assure you that on its part, the National Assembly will make legislation, you know, that will make life more meaningful to the Nigerian people.
Interesting. 070-7242-6258 is the number for you to call and be part of this live radio broadcast. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Mohammed calling you from Asokoro.
Mohammed, more callers today, producer from Asokoro. Talk to us in 60 seconds.
Yes, my concern is about the oversight activities of the National Assembly.
Okay.
There are many government agencies that seem to be not subjecting themselves to the oversight function of the National Assembly, especially NNPC, the CBN, and so many others.
Yes, cousin.
And this really causes a lot of problems both here and there. So I don't know why the National Assembly is not using its constitutional powers to make sure that no agency feels above their constitutional action. Then secondly, I want to really find out from your guests the reason why National Assembly members, especially the lawmakers, cannot cut down some of their finances to make life better, especially for Nigerian workers. Generally, you see the political office holders, you know, their pay is very high. They live a very flamboyant life, while the Nigerian workers are suffering.
Okay.
The same thing with the National Assembly.
All right.
If you see the life of the National Assembly lawmakers and you see their workers, you know that there is a problem. There is a wide gap.
All right.
So I want your guest to respond to this.
Mohammed, thank you. We gave you the adequate time for that, and I think you are the last caller on this edition. Respond to him, Mr. Ekong.
Okay, he talked about the issue of oversight. Okay.
Okay, let me take this one, then you put them together.
Okay.
Sorry, let me, so that you will not stay next week. I won't present.
Okay.
Turn it down, cousin. Turn it down. You know, my producer brought you on now. 60 seconds. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Akani in Ekong. I've been the name of
you have an
video there.
all right.
Yes.
What did you guys say?
I just want to say about I thank the Senate President of his comportment. You know, there have been a lot of issues here and there, but comportment is what really caught my attention. Okay. And what I really want to say is about the electoral reform. You know, a lot of people hear about us in diaspora and everywhere. I think we should really look into it very well.
Okay.
If this electoral reform is being really signed and put into law, and we're sure that what's going to happen in 2027 will be the reality and what we expect. I think it will make Nigerians happy.
All right.
We've seen that a lot of things comes to National Assembly and it will be signed overnight, just very fast.
All right.
So why is this electoral reform taking a long time? We want to see things happening the way it's supposed to happen. I don't want to wait a long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
A lot there. I'm happy.
Thank you, cousin. I appreciate. So you greeted in the tribe. I didn't understand it. So put them together and let's have you conclude.
Okay, thank you. Mohammed talked about the issue of oversight functions of the National Assembly. And this is one area that the 10th Senate takes very seriously.
Okay.
The 10th Senate takes the issue of oversight functions very seriously.
All right.
That they have various committees.
Okay.
Various committees of the National Assembly that that are expected, and they have done this many times since they were inaugurated. They have had issues to summon Inspector General of Police, someone, the service chiefs, on the issue of insecurity. Not once, not twice. They have had calls to someone, the Minister of Finance, the Central Bank governors, the Managing Director of NNPC. These are parts of their oversight functions. So they've not been lagging behind as far as issues of oversight are concerned. He talked about, National Assembly members.
The money to take home.
Yeah, like I said, the members of the National Assembly, the senators and the House of Reps members, it's not as if they are detached. It's not as if they don't know that, because of the reforms of the present administration, that things have become a bit more difficult for Nigerians.
So they said they should cut down their finances. What would you say?
Yes, even the 10th House of Reps,
yes, cousin,
they contributed part of their remuneration towards supporting the reforms and making Nigerians more comfortable. These people make a lot of sacrifices. It's not as if they come, they live flamboyant life and don't know that the rest of Nigerians are suffering. That is not true. Every legislation that they put in place is meant, to caution and to make life more meaningful for Nigerians.
All right.
Yes.
Talk about the reforms quickly.
The
cousin who called from diaspora, who you guys spoke tribe with, for him, if the reforms will be done, 2027 election will indeed be credible.
Yes.
They have already told us.
Yes. In fact, the thinking of the present 10 Senate.
Yes, cousin.
A few days ago, 2 days ago, this issue of electoral reforms, even yesterday,
all right,
came up. And there seems to be a consensus that, technology is going to deliver credible elections.
Awesome.
Technology, if we deploy technology, if the National Assembly makes laws, that backs technology, that the elections will become transparent.
Okay.
If there are 10 voters and they vote for a particular candidate, it will be clear and obvious.
Interesting.
And that's why I said that one of the greatest legacy the present National Assembly will leave will be that they will make legislation that will make our elections more transparent, more credible.
All right.
They will hand down elections that the losers will congratulate the winners.
Interesting.
That will be one of the greatest legacy of the present National Assembly and the 10th Senate in particular.
Let me take this message and then you respond to it as we conclude. I am not sure of the angle your discussion will take. That's when we interacted with some of our cousins yesterday. But if it is about the responsiveness of the Senate to the people's expectations, I am personally disappointed with the present Senate based on personal convictions. However, it has less than 2 years to redeem itself. So far, it has refused to apologize to the citizens over its blunder in Nnadi's confirmation as a minister. Nigerians have not forgotten about it yet. What will you say to this cousin?
Yeah, like I try to educate Nigerians because, in fact, anybody that says I will pardon the person, but we also know that the so-called Nnadi blunder was not a function of the National Assembly. Like I said, the National Assembly, the Senate in particular, when they're screening ministerial nominees, they don't go visiting the schools that they attended. They don't go visiting where these people worked. They rely on security reports that are presented to them by the relevant security agencies. That means before somebody appears before the Senate, the person would have been screened by security agencies, and these security agencies will now send their reports to the National Assembly. The National Assembly rely on that.
This is how it's done.
So you won't blame the National Assembly.
Okay. I should appreciate you sincerely, cousin, Mr. Anietie Ekong, Special Assistant Media Communication to the President of the Senate, for coming on this edition of the program. Callers are still coming through, but we are already done. Our time is limited. I just want my cousin to make one bold statement, because for us, I've always said that we would appreciate if some of these words we use in live radio broadcasts would be matched with actions. You've agreed with us that Nigerians are indeed suffering. What's the hope in 60 days?
Yes, the hope is that the present 10th Senate is very responsive.
All right.
They are not oblivious of the suffering of Nigerians, occasioned by the reforms that His Excellency President Tinubu has made. And they have always explained that, it's like a pain that you go through during childbirth. Once the baby is given birth to, everybody is happy. We buy drinks. So Nigerians should see the present phase, as a necessary step that they will have to go through. Okay. But even at that, I know that measures are being put in place through various social intervention programs, to make life less burdensome for Nigerians. So they should keep faith, support the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as he executes his people-oriented programs and, bring the country to the path of stability and growth. We have already achieved stability. The government has already achieved stability. Now, through various economic projections, the economy is expected, to grow in the coming years, and Nigerians will get to that El Dorado. So I will urge Nigerians to keep supporting the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They should support the 10th Senate, headed by Chief Dr. Godswill Akpabio, GCON, as the legislature make legislation that will make life more impactful for Nigerians.
A good place to draw a curtain on this edition. We also appreciate you for coming through on this live radio broadcast. Again, Mr. Anietie Ekong, the Special Assistant, Media Communication to the President of the Senate. I appreciate my executive producer, my cousin Anderson, for this edition of the program. You would find out that next week, 10 a.m., we'll be live on radio again with another interesting engagement.
I must commend you guys because he's doing a very good job.
Okay, cousin.
He acts as the bridge between the legislature and the people.
Very true.
And through these programs, people have been enlightened on what is going on in the National Assembly, and I must commend you guys for a job well done. Please.
We're humble, cousin.
Keep it up.
We appreciate it.
You're a partner in progress.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are humble with your commendation. Let me not blush. It's a blind medium. You can't see me here, but Osebe is a light-skinned man, so he can blush. Next week, 10 a.m., we're back on another interesting edition of the program. Bob Genesis, the Gospel Toucher cousin on radio, remains my name. A beautiful morning to you.